Here's my exercise 1 of lab 7. I've drawn a circuit diagram of the op-amp circuit, and I've simply done KCL at what I've called node 1. And simplifying, I get this gain of R1 plus R2 over R1. Here's my circuit for exercise 2. All the wires are the colors that they should be, except the gray wire should be white, but I only had one white wire. Here's my code for exercise 2. I'll start on the left with the Arduino code. Here in my setup function, I define my baud rate, and then here in my loop function, I read off the relevant values from the op-amp, and then I define a string output to send to processing. Then I print it to the serial monitor, and I apply my 50 millisecond delay. And over in processing, I just modified my code so that it can display everything as it needs to be. And I have the legend up top, and I can just adjust my oscilloscope. I'll just adjust it a little bit so you can see. Alright, and that is exercise 2. Here's my circuit for exercise 3. Again, I used gray wires instead of white wires because I only have one white wire, and I had to switch out some of my wires to troubleshoot some issues that I was having. Here is my exercise 3 for lab 7. On the left, as you can see, I've adjusted my V-in to account for the virtual ground that we added for this circuit. On the right, I have my processing code, and I've also adjusted that to account for these changes, so I'll just demonstrate it. So here you can see that V plus stays at 2.5 volts. Vin goes between 2.5 and negative 2.5, and my V out is becomes very large, very positive when my V in is negative, and becomes very negative when my V in is positive. Here's my derivation for exercise 4a. I simply did KCL at the inverting input, and I got V out is equal to negative V in over j omega RC in the frequency domain, or in the time domain, V out of t is equal to negative 1 over RC times the integral of Vi of t dt. Here's my circuit for exercise 4. For exercise 4, the Arduino and processing code are essentially the same as for exercise 2, so I'll just demonstrate. Alright, and if I increase V plus and V in minus, that's the integration that's happening there. I'll just demonstrate here. And I'll let it refresh. Alright, and that's exercise 4.